Yo, what up YouTube? RotoCut Gaming here, bringing you another cryptocurrency related video, and this time I'm going to talk about Ravencoin and its price prediction. Short answer, 80 cents to a dollar by June 2022 or July. Long term 2025, maybe $2 to $3. So I'm talking out of my ass. I know that. I'm not an expert. This is just a pure guess. This is not financial advice, but this is something I've been in the space for quite some time. I've seen some coins. This is an altcoin. I've seen some stuff go up and down accordingly, and there's a few factors that actually make me bullish about the Ravencoin price. Like I said, from this experience and the few tidbits that I do know, I'm able to guesstimate that much, right? 80 cents to a dollar for each coin. And that's why I'm directing 13 of my video cards to mine Ethereum, but convert it to Ravencoin. And that's a strategy. I'm betting big on Ravencoin. And then I'm doing that because I don't want to miss out on the skyrocket to the moon. And, you know, all my Ravencoin brothers are going to be in a good position to buy Lambos and houses on the moon. And I don't want to miss out on that. So that's why, short and sweet, that's the answer. But there's a few factors, we can go through them. So let me show you what I'm talking about. And the very first thing that sticks out, in my opinion, as to why it's going to skyrocket to 80 cents to a dollar, is that this is not listed on Coinbase. You can't buy it. The only exchanges that you can use are outside of Coinbase. So whenever Coinbase actually decides to list it, I've seen historically that anything that gets listed out there, it goes up substantially. So this could happen for Ravencoin. If you're a newcomer, you know, if you're watching this video and you say, hey, what is Ravencoin? Can I buy some? And you're in the United States, chances are you're gonna have to do crazy research just to, you know, get one Ravencoin, because it's not an easily accessible asset or coin, right? So, you know, just bear that in mind. If it does happen, if Ravencoin is listed, we're in business. We're looking good long term. Another thing is that this is a community-driven project, and it's slow to implement a lot of the upgrades and features. But hey, you know, it's not a race. If you're in the space like me, more than likely you want to be long term. So this is not really an issue. And price action, you know, you could wait for a few years. Back in the day, it was 2 cents when I was mining it. Now it's 11 cents. It's just a waiting game. Right now it's 11 cents, as you can see on the screen, and it's gotta move up. I don't think it's gonna go down to a dollar, to a cent or 2 cents. If it does, cool, whatever. I'm used to it. But I think that over time, it's gonna go up. We're still in a bull market. So more than likely, it's not going to remain at 11 cents. There's a couple of things coming. So like I mentioned, and because it's a community-driven project, there's no mass marketing. So I remember when this came out, there was no propaganda. There was no, you know, massive hysteria about it. The only way that you knew about it was through the Bitcoin Talk forum, some GPU mining communities, and then people started churning away, you know, from scratch. So much like Bitcoin, it started from the ground, and it's an organic sort of accumulation on the network. The coins are being mined organically through GPU, and that's what really that's what makes me bullish about it, and that's why I'm still a believer on the Ravencoin community. And like I mentioned, this is a GPU centric coin. There's no ASICs that you can just throw on it and start mining a crazy amount of coins that will increase the difficulty, and that's good for the small miners. But at least I know that there's not like a big conglomerate out there with ASICs that they can just dump a bunch of computers, and you know, these are specialized computers that just mine one specific algorithm. That's not happening with this one. So the developers initially, whenever they came out with it, they came out with an X16R, which is like a random generating difficulty type of algorithm, and it was anti-ASIC. And then that was in 2018. I stopped mining, I came back, and now it's, you know, the Kapow algorithm, which leads me to believe that the developers are always looking at for the GPU miners, for the little guys. So that I appreciate that, you know. So kudos to them, and that's why I'm gonna continue. Not, you know, whether I'm mining it or buying it or whatever, I'm still in the space. I'm still contributing. I'm still holding, and that's why I believe it. You know, this is good long term. All right, so one of the things that also excites me about it is that there's a limited supply. The eventual supply right now is 9 billion. That's currently circulating. Those are the coins that have been mined over time since its inception to now, and the total supply that it will reach, it will be 21 billion. If this kind of sounds familiar to you, is the 21 million, right? Is because it's a fork of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has an ultimate supply of 21 million coins, and Ravencoin, because it's a fork, they want to keep it sort of, you know, similar. The eventual circulating supply or final supply will be 21 billion. That's where that number came from. So as of right now, because of the difficulty, we're still contributing a lot of coins to the circulating supply. But then there will be a halving that I'll get into it. That's actually going to decrease the amount of coins in the circulating supply, and that's what keeps me bullish, and that's why I mentioned the circulating supply number right now. Another thing that keeps me bullish on Ravencoin, and why it kind of fuels my 80 cents to $1 prediction for next year, is that Ethereum is actually going to stop being profitable as far as a mining operation, because it'll completely cease to exist. So that is, in my opinion, the number one factor. And the problem is that no one knows if it's going to benefit or not. But historically speaking, Ravencoin has stayed on top of the profitability charts and tables for quite some time. And, you know, since I was mining it, it was in 2018, that was the case. So logic would tell you that, you know, after Ethereum mining is done for, that a lot of the hash power is actually going to migrate to the Ravencoin network. And if price doesn't increase immediately, which I don't think it will, it could cause, you know, dissatisfaction with some of the miners. And in that case, because they chase profitability over anything, and life profitability sometimes is a big factor with mining operations, whether you're big or small. So price could stagnate and not move up at all. But, you know, if mining, if the miners stay mining Ravencoin and supporting the network, and as well as the holders not selling anything, the eventual run of the price could happen, and then that's when it becomes very profitable, and then the mining operation could resume. It could hit a hiccup, but we don't know. We don't know what the difficulty will be for Ravencoin mining. We don't know what the profitability will be. We don't know what the price will be. But there's two options, and a lot of people are, like, you know, waiting on the sidelines for that to happen. So, you know, that's timing. That's a timing issue. May, June, July next year with Ethereum. We don't know how it's gonna affect it. But before that happens, another big factor, and I alluded to it previously, is the halving of Ravencoin. So the rewards that people get by mining Ravencoin right now are 5,000 coins per block. The difficulty is not that hard. So, you know, the majority of GPU miners are focusing on Ethereum. So there's a block generated roughly every minute. So, you know, there's still a lot of opportunity for miners to accumulate as many coins as possible right now. For example, I'll give you an example. I'm mining Ethereum right now, and my rewards are like 500 to 600 coins a day that I'm getting. Come January, February of next year, I will guarantee you I will not be getting 500 coins a day. I will probably be getting about maybe 300 or 200 at best. So what does that mean? So if price stagnates and remains at 11 cent per coin, that means that I'm not as profitable and I could be losing out, right? But I know that if the mining community stays on Ravencoin and the holders hold it, that the lag of the price lag is going to eventually catch up. Even though I'm still mining 200 coins in February or March or whatever, more than likely they're not going to be 11 cents per coin. It'll probably be, let's say, double. Like at worst, they would be like 22 cents to make it sort of equally as profitable. That might not be the case. In any way, it could be 2, 3, 4, 7 times what the price is right now, or it could half, where it could go to zero. There's just so many, variables. So that's another thing that's happening for the Ravencoin community. The having, if it mimics, and the reason why it's gonna have is because it's a Ravencoin is a fork of Bitcoin, so it follows that halving mechanic, and that mechanic is so ingrained right now in the Bitcoin community because they've seen a few already, and they know what to expect as far as pricing action. So if Ravencoin mimics a fraction of that, it's gonna move eventually. And if we imitate, for example, if we imitate what Bitcoin went through in the last one, which is May of 2020, the price of Bitcoin was $8,700, May 11th, 2020, right? As of today, is $61,000. So that's a 7x from that price. Now, doesn't mean Ravencoin is going to be 7x, but from where we are right now, and if it mimics that same price action, we're looking at roughly 80 cents. And that's just on the halving effect. That's just on that. We're not talking about the whole the things that I mentioned, Ethereum, stopping all GPU mining from being profitable. We're not talking Coinbase listing. We're not talking more adoption, right? That's just on the halving effect, and we equate, or we mimic, Bitcoin's price action to Ravencoin. I mean, that's just a guess. That's why I'm saying 80 cents on my prediction. So who knows? This is a very long-winded video. Most of you are probably not watching, but there are a few more other things that I can talk about it. I don't want to make it a 50-minute video. The reason I'm putting these things out is just to get it off my chest, because I don't know, I gotta talk to somebody. But that's it. That's all I got. I also know the risk that eventually Ravencoin could hit zero. Who knows? Tomorrow. And typically, I mean, I've seen it. There was one coin called Substratum that a lot of people were bullish on, and then it just crashed. There are coins that just like crash and burn, and that's a possibility. But deep down in my heart, I know that it's gonna reach $1 before it reaches zero. That's just me. I'm not an expert. I'm an idiot when it comes to these things, but I'm a believer. Maybe I'm an idiotic believer. Let's call it that. All right, well, I appreciate it. That's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much, and stay safe and have a great day. See ya.